Hello everyone! In the previous lesson, we learned basic functions such as sum and average. They help us with calculation with numbers. However, Excel do more than calculate numbers. It can determine whether a statement is true or false. Many logical functions are built on this concept. Today, we'll learn one of the basic yet most widely used and powerful logical function, if. Let's look at this example together. Can you determine who has fully repaid the loan? With 3 beneficiaries, this is easy. It's David, right? But what if you have hundreds, thousands of beneficiaries? Checking them manually takes time, and also it can lead to mistakes. Instead, let's ask Excel to do the work for us. Let's get started. To make Excel work for us, we first need to understand how Excel thinks. Excel makes decisions by checking whether a statement is true or false. Let's look at a very simple examples here. First, type an equal sign. The equal sign here tells Excel that we are entering a formula, right? And tell Excel 3 is greater than 4. Then, Excel returns false because the statement was false, right? And next, let's put another equal sign and let's try 3 is less than 4. This time, it returns true because the statement was correct. And then lastly, we can ask if 3 is same with 3. Then Excel returns true because it is true. As you can see, Excel can evaluate conditions or a statement if they are true or false. So let's look into some more comparison operators right here. So this one here, it is greater than or equal to, right? And the next one here, it's less than or equal to. And the last one here, it means not equal to, okay? As we practice the if function later, you'll see how these operators are used in real examples. Now, let's look at the structure of the if function. The if function has 3 arguments. The first argument is the question, and this is the condition that Excel will evaluate if it's true or false. And then, the second argument is the answer if yes, which means what to return if the question is true. Okay? And the last argument here is answer if no. If the statement is false, what do you want to return? Do you understand? Simply, the if function asks a question and returns one answer for yes and another answer for no. Now, let's see how this works in real examples. Here is a data set containing information about loan beneficiaries. We have the beneficiary's name, loan amount, and paid amount, loan status in the end. Let's read through the instruction together. So, our task is to complete the loan status column, which is age, using the if function. If the paid amount is equal to or greater than the loan amount, we should return paid. Otherwise, we should return pending. Let's start with the first beneficiary. First, click the cell where you want the result to appear. And then, click the Insert Function button over here and let's search if. Click Go. Then it's gonna show you the if function, so double click. You see there are 3 function arguments. The first argument, if you remember, it's question. This is the condition the Excel will evaluate. In our case, we want to know whether the paid amount is equal to or greater than the loan amount. So select the paid amount like this and type greater than or equal to the loan amount, right? So select the cell F5 this time. So This argument is saying that please evaluate if G5 is greater than or equal to F5, right? So this is our first argument. And the second argument is what do you want to return if this statement is true, right? If this is true, return paid, right? Since paid is text, we need to put it inside a quotation mark. Don't forget this, paid in a quotation mark. And then the last one, what to return if it's false, right? Otherwise, return pending. It's written in our instruction. So this time, the return value should be pending in a quotation mark. Pending. Since it's text, don't forget to put a quotation mark. So let's click OK and see. Alright, the return value is paid here. So if you check the values, the loan amount and paid amount are the same. So that's why the loan status was returned as paid. Now that we know this formula works correctly, we don't need to write it again and again for every row. Instead, we can use autofill. Move your cursor to the bottom right corner of the cell, and when you see a small black cross, please double check. Excel automatically copies the formula for the remaining row and also return the correct value. So if you pick one of the row like here, this one paid amount is less than loan amount. So loan status is pending. As you can see here, Excel has determined the status for all beneficiaries in just a few seconds. Alright, let's move on to the second practice. We are going to use the same data set, but this time we have three possible outcomes: paid, unpaid, and outstanding. In the previous exercise, we used a single if function to make one decision. When we need to check multiple conditions, we can place one if function inside another if function. This is called a nested if function. Think of it like asking a series of questions. First, ask, is the paid amount equal to or greater than the loan amount? If yes, return paid. If no, let's ask another question. Is the paid amount 0? If yes, return unpaid. Otherwise, return outstanding. So let's work on nested if function right here. Select the first orange cell. This time, we'll enter the formula directly. So type equal and if. Then open the parentheses. Our first question is the paid amount equal to or greater than the loan amount? So as we did earlier, it's the same. Click the paid amount and ask if paid amount is greater than or equal to the loan amount, right? And then type comma. Then next is if the answer is yes, we want Excel to return paid. So type paid in quotation mark. Type another comma, and if the answer is no, we want to ask another question, right? If the paid amount is 0, return unpaid. Now comes the nested if function. Instead of entering a final answer, we need to put another question in there. So type if again and open another parenthesis. Our second question is the paid amount is 0, right? If the answer is yes, we want to return unpaid. So put a quotation mark again and type unpaid. Type another comma, and lastly, value if false. If this is also not true, we want to return outstanding. So put another quotation mark and type outstanding. Now close the second if function with a parenthesis, then close the first if function with another parenthesis. Click enter If you look at the formula bar right here, you can see that the second if function is placed inside a big first if function. This is why it's called a nested if function, and you can see it returned paid because the loan amount, paid amount are the same. So let's autofill and see other result. See, there is a unpaid when the paid amount is 0. Then it says unpaid, and for outstanding when the paid amount is more than 0, but if it's still less than loan amount, they said outstanding. So we could fill this row in a few seconds or a few minutes with the nested if function. Let's practice one more time with nested if. Our goal here is to complete the category column, which is column H again, using a nested if function. As you can see, this time there are 4 possible outcomes like woman, youth, elderly, or others. So that's why we are using a nested if function. And let's start with the first row. So select the first orange cell right here and type equal and if open a parenthesis. Our first question is the beneficiary female, right? So let's check out where you can see that in the data sheet, in the table, and then find it, which is in C5. You can click it and then ask if it's female or male. According to the data type, you have to put a quotation mark here and ask if it's female, right? And then type comma and the value if it's true. If it's true, we want to put woman, right? This is also text, so you also have to put it in the quotation mark. Woman, and then type comma. If this is wrong, there another question comes, right? Else if the age is 35 or below, right? So you have to open another if function with a parenthesis and ask this question. Is the age 35 or below? So you can find the age section and click it and ask if it's 35 or below. It's less than or equal to 35, right? If this one is true, you should return youth. Youth goes in the quotation mark, of course. Type youth and quotation mark and type another comma. If this is not youth again, what is the next question? There is a question like, is the age 60 or above? So, since there is another question coming, you have to open another if and then parenthesis. Then ask the question. The age is 60 or above, so greater than or equal to 60. Then, if it's true, you want to return elderly. So, quotation mark and elderly, right? Type another comma. Then, finally, the last return value is going to be others. You should go in the quotation mark again and others and close the quotation mark. Since you open 3 parentheses in total, you have to close 3 times, right? Tap enter and see. Elderly was the return value for this because this one is not a woman, first of all, and then according to its age, this one should be in the category of elderly, right? Let's autofill the rest of the cells and let's see. The next one, since this one is female, woman is the return value. And the next one, this one is not female, and then the age is less than 35. This one is in the category of youth, right? So this example shows how nested if functions can be used to classify data based on multiple conditions. As your conditions become more complex, nested if functions can become difficult to read. But still, the process is the same and it's very powerful to classify data, right? So today, we learn how to use the if function to make decisions based on conditions. Before we finish, there's one more practice sheet for you to try on your own. Task 1 and Task 2 are similar to the ones we completed already today. And Task 3 includes an additional condition, so please try it out to see if you can solve it or not. We started with single if function, then we learned how to use nested if function to handle multiple conditions. Don't forget to practice using the challenge datasheet and the sample dataset, which is provided in the description below. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear back from you. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.